How's it going, everybody? This is a presentation on the expansion of the Mediterranean diet. To start, the Mediterranean diet has become increasingly popular in the United States as many are discovering the advantages that are developed from the social, historical, and environmental practices of the Mediterranean region. So we're going to talk to you guys about what the Mediterranean diet is, where it came from, a brief history, some of the cultural significance, along with nutritional benefits, sustainability, and socioeconomic factors. So, the Mediterranean diet is the eating lifestyle of countries around the Mediterranean basin. So, as far as the food included in this diet, um, it looks like what is shown in the food pyramid on the right of this slide. So, it's primarily plant based, which means that every time you're cooking a meal within this diet, you should strive to have fruits and vegetables as your centerpiece. Meanwhile, you should include lots of whole wheat grains, which is the base of this pyramid. This would be the biggest portion of your diet. Try not to eat um, enriched wheat grains and try to get whole wheat grains instead. This would include quinoa, brown rice, rye, farro, buckwheat, and barley. Um, and as we move up the pyramid, we get into our healthy fats, such as beans and legumes. These are high in fiber and protein. Meanwhile, cheeses and yogurt also compose a large part of these healthy fats. And as a whole, um, there's not a lot of dairy incorporated in this diet, so a lot of your dairy sources will be from cheese and yogurt. Moving further up the pyramid is our lean meat options, so mostly fish and poultry. Um, this is going to be your heaviest protein source within the diet, along with eggs. And toward the highest portion of the pyramid is going to be the meats and red meat and sweets, which should be eaten very sparingly. You guys can all see why. And off to the left is going to be beverage recommendations. So it's recommended that one drinks 6 glasses of water, and that water is the go-to beverage within this diet, as opposed to juices or sodas. And then also, since this diet originated from the Greeks, where wine is very popular, wine is also recommended in moderation. Now, with any effective diet, it's also important to make sure you incorporate exercise and socializing. So, according to UNESCO, um, this diet is designed as a social practice originating from the Mediterranean basin, with traditions ranging from landscape to table, which means that you should also adopt the cultural aspects that come along with this diet. And that's helpful because in this region, um, especially at the times when this diet was starting to be adopted, a lot of people would exercise for utility, which means not having a car in that region, you're going to have to walk to where you're going, or even not having a dryer, you would go and hang up your clothes, or cooking your own meals. Those are all forms of exercise. That's very prevalent in this diet, which would um, in turn allow for that exercise component. And then also, most of these countries are known to have meals in groups. So in Greece and Morocco and Italy, um, all the citizens can count on having at least one meal a day where you're eating with a group, which is a good social aspect and is good for your mental health. Now I'll talk a little bit about the history of the Mediterranean diet, and I'll be brief for the sake of time, but the lineage of the Mediterranean diet is traced as far back as ancient Greece and Rome, who are noted as the earliest agriculture-based society, which consequently gave rise to the plant-based origins of the diet. They also developed the main base of the diet, which was wine, bread, and oil products. Um, this was further adapted as the diet moved to the Middle East, so areas like Egypt, Libya, and Turkey, and they incorporated more dairy and healthy fats and olive oil, so yogurt especially, and cheeses. And they also implemented more humane practices uh, for the preparation of the meat sources, with an emphasis on sustainability as well. They also really heavily emphasized eating in groups within the Middle East, which is a big part of the diet now today. As we move towards Spain and Italy, more exotic spices and herbs were added to the diet, as well as westward expansion contributing to a more colorful palate. As we moved into the Americas, we found more exotic fruits, vegetables, spices, and herbs. One example is the tomato, which is a key figure in the diet today. So these are all factors that contributed to the diet over time, with many left out for brevity.
One factor that has helped the spread of the Mediterranean diet to the US is the health benefits. The obesity epidemic in the US has led to the rise of healthier diets, especially those for a healthy heart. Studies have shown that the Mediterranean diet reduces the risk of cardiovascular disease by reducing hypertension. This is caused by the high intake of vegetables and lean meats, and also of high quality fat sources, which lower cholesterol. It also may reduce the risk for cancer metastasis, but studies for this have very small sample sizes and lack repetition. Although the spread of this diet is impressive, it still isn't reaching all populations. This may be because it's harder for the lower class to follow. Healthy food items tend to be more expensive than junk foods, and the food items for this diet are only becoming more expensive. Studies have also shown that the health benefits only seem to occur in those of a higher socioeconomic status, even in those adhering to the exact same diet. This may be due to a nutritional difference between cheap and expensive brands.
Sustainability of the Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet has proven to be environmental friendly. Compared to the environmental impact of an average American diet, the Mediterranean diet reduces greenhouse gas emissions, uses less land, consumes less energy to maintain, and requires less water. These factors have made the Mediterranean diet very popular in the US. Sustainable food systems are being developed in the Mediterranean to further decrease the environmental footprint and provide help to producers and consumers. This diet seems to have been designed to incorporate the most sustainable foods, although being developed hundreds of years before environmental impact of foods was even studied. In conclusion, the popularity of the Mediterranean diet is well justified. The diverse selection of foods contribute to a positive adherence and satisfaction. Many physicians recommend this diet because the health benefits are plentiful. The Mediterranean diet is a great option for the sustainability of the earth. As the Mediterranean diet continues to grow in popularity, the United States could be looking forward to a more sustainable and nutritious future, where individuals are able to provide themselves with proper nutrients without crippling the future.